Hey there, and welcome back to Five Nights at Ovidio'S Golden Days 2, where we're pretty much here to beat Custom Night, and then we'll check out the bonus content and we'll give my thoughts on the game and everything. Now, oh god, okay. So, the developer left a comment saying that I can get a 4th star by doing all of the Custom Night challenges. Considering that there's 6 besides the max difficulty one, I'm probably just gonna stick to doing max difficulty. I'm just gonna go straight for Deuce's Nightmare. So yeah, honestly, I'm not really expecting too much difficulty. I mean, sometimes I say that and it bites me in the ass, but this time around, I mean, if we just stick to the strategy of, you know, constantly looking at the door and then turning backwards to deal with whoever needs to get the stage call, and then occasionally going on monitor for the tape and Oliver, then I think we should be fine, but let's find out. Okay, yep, keep your camera enables channel just to keep them checked. That's pretty much what I tend to do anyway. So yeah, I mean, I guess we'll see also what their pace is like just doing this. I did mention in the previous video that it felt like they kind of go slower whenever I'm not on camera, so I'm not sure if we really noticed that here. I don't know, it's just something that, it just like, it could have been a coincidence, sure, but I don't know, it felt like that was the case. So, I don't know. I just felt like they were going rather slow whenever I was just looking at the hallway. But for now... Oh, wait, remember. Remember, you have 20 seconds. Can't forget that. Also, I do need to check to make sure... Perfect timing. I need to be careful / mindful of the music. Music's almost done. Wait. Oh, wait. Let's just be careful. Music's about to reset. Okay. All 4 of them? Wait. That was like... that was a whole clusterfuck of enemies there. Jesus. They're already ganged up on me and everything. Okay. I didn't even see what time it is. 1:46? Not bad. I mean, given, like, it's not even like I could do the other custom night challenges, but it's just like, because of the time, I'd rather not. If I just beat this anyway. Because it's like, what? Another 6 challenges, so that would make for maybe about 45 minutes worth of, like, just going through the game. I gotta lower the volume. I can't even hear myself speak. My point is that, you know, 45 minutes of doing, you know, easier challenges than what I'm doing now. Not really trying to do that specifically, so I'll just take, you know, this star, honestly. Look at me being all confident. I haven't even gone through half the night. Let me just make sure I didn't misspeak. Oh, there we go. Music about to restart. Okay, come on. 240. Close it. That's all of them. These two have always shown up together, I realized, by the way. Like, almost to a fault. They've always shown up together. Let's check. Oh, I thought for a second... Okay, I thought someone left for a second. Let's check here first. I don't know why I always have to check just in case. Wait, let me check. Oliver. Oh, now I did. Okay, we're good. Music is close to resetting. Alright, let's wait. Damn. Okay, didn't get to him in time, clearly. Let's retry. That's probably like the only real disadvantage you can find yourself in. But then again, I wasn't even... Oh, that was really quick, to be fair. That's probably the only thing that I would say will catch me off guard, is if I am on camera. Because that's the one thing, right? I don't think... Does the sound cue play when you're on camera? I don't think so, right? You only get the sound cue if you're not using the camera. So, like, what could have happened there is, like, as soon as I put my camera up, but then he showed up at the window. And so, you know, all that time kind of just went away while I was looking for Oliver. But, you know, that's such a chance, like a small chance of that happening. So, there's nothing really to say there. It's just a bad coincidence. Alright, Oliver's been doing the same camera constantly. Okay, see, like, for example, there, they were already... Who knows how long they were just sitting there while I was on camera. It kind of depends on how long I take to look for Oliver. Hold on. Wait. There we go. I almost forgot about the music. Now I think about it, it's always the same pattern, isn't it? Thomas and I forgot the names already. Again, I can't get used to the names. The red one and Thomas, basically, they always show up together. Meanwhile, the one in blue always shows up alone. Oh, almost, I forgot the music again. Horrible timing. We still got it though. Again, 20 seconds is pretty generous, but given how much you have to do in like that scenario, it's kind of fair to get like 20 seconds if you have to like look for Oliver and then deal with the stage call. 20 seconds might be a bit too much. Maybe like 15 would make it a bit more. I mean, again, I'm just speaking from a difficulty aspect. Like if the idea, if like I would say that's one way of definitely making it more difficult. You know, if that was your intention, right? Just like shortening that timer to 15 seconds probably, because 20 seconds is pretty generous overall. Yeah, you know what? I think that's the idea I have to do. Once I find Oliver, get out of the cameras immediately just to confirm that there's no one at that window. Well, I completely broke my rule just there, but you get the idea is that you want to get Oliver and then switch out immediately. Almost forgot the bloody thing again. What the? Okay, for a second I was worried that they weren't making sounds. Okay. .505. I'm definitely gonna have to play the music one more time. There you go. Around 5:35, 5:40. I gotta be careful though. 5:40 more like. Oh, I don't know. Are they still there? Okay, I made it through. I don't know. I'm so used to them leaving like immediately. I keep thinking like, did the sound cue go over my head without realizing? But we made it. Only one death. And now we're in the forest. Oh my god, there's a bloody Teletubby sneaking off in the night. Oh, it's not just a Teletubby though. They're all sneaking off into the night, just waddling by like, yeah, okay, we're gonna take our leave now. Bye-bye. I mean, yeah, I mean, given what they already said, you know, they generally keep trying to escape if Ovidio isn't there, right? Or, you know, because of their programming going all haywire. That's why we were hired in the first place. But it looks like that kind of suggests that that probably happened after we left. Either that, or maybe that's like the next night they never got another night guard, and so they just sneak off into the night. Only 4 of them, by the way. It's the old ones were the only ones that left, interestingly enough. But regardless, good job to the developer of Ovidio. That was fun. Honestly, definitely an improvement over the first game, just based on the fact that this wasn't so much like, you know, very copy and paste over the first, you know, like the first game was very much a parody of Five Nights at Chuck E. Cheese's rebooted, but this is less of a parody because it kind of does things like, you know, obviously very obvious similarities, but it kind of like does things in its own way a little bit more compared to the first game, so props to that. Now, I did actually get some corrections from the developer in regarding what I said in the first video, mainly regarding, for one, like I was talking in the first video about who Ovidio was exactly, in, you know, game universe terms. From what I understand now, so Ovidio is obviously the owner, we know this, right? And for some reason the animatronics act weirdly around Ovidio, and I accidentally said that the blue figure in the first game was also Ovidio. I thought that was Ovidio for a second. I was kind of getting things a bit confused, but no, that is actually Nathan. That's the name of the character, and Nathan kind of incites the animatronics in the first game, kind of like makes them more aggressive, kind of make them more eager for vengeance, I guess, if I understand correctly. So that kind of clears up that misunderstanding, because I didn't quite get that bit. But now looking back at it, it makes sense, because one of the jump scares, I think it was a jump scare or it was an ending for the first game, had Nathan along with the text, "I know what you've done, Ovidio Sandoval," right? So I guess that should have made it more clear, like, well, yeah, it'd be weird if Ovidio was saying, "I know what you did, Ovidio," you know what I mean? Like, you know, common sense there. But, you know, that's just something I want to clear up. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go for the 4th star because, well, that pretty much comprises of getting these other 6. And they're just going to be, you know, easier versions of this, so a lot of it would probably just be me cutting out that footage, so I'm probably not going to do that. Pretty much what you have here is like, what, 420, 2 different ways. You have Boys Night, which is pretty much all the male characters. Trainwreck, the only 2 trains, this would be pretty easy. Double Trouble, Fictional Crushes 2. This one you'd have to go back and forth, right, between the door and the stage call. Let's see. Actually, yeah. Right, yeah. So, yeah, back and forth with stage call and door, just the door, just the stage call and the cameras, and then this is like a mix of everything. Then, you know, 420, 420, and then bam, Deuce's Nightmare. Now, we can hop into bonus content. Welcome to the bonus menu. Characters, we got new Golden Poe, new Cater Diamond. Yeah, that's what their name is. Again, I'm not familiar with the source material for these characters. It's something called Twisted Wonderland. No clue what that is. So that's why I couldn't for the life of me like focus on the names. Here we have new Ortho Shroud, new Oliver, new Abel. Oh, so this is the one that was what's it called in the music room. Not the music room, but, you know, you were playing music for Abel. Old Golden Poe, old Lilia Van Rouge, old Jack Howell, and old Thomas Gotts. And then Deuce, that's me, look at that. And then we have also check out, I'm guessing this is like showing off other games as well. Then we have jump scares, which I think I've only seen, what, 2 jump scares? I saw, what jump scare did I see? I saw this one. And I think I saw her, right? So I saw Ortho and Cater, and then of course we have a new Golden Poe, Oliver. Oh, face. We have Old Golden Poe, Lilia, Jack, and then Thomas. As for behind the scenes, this is like, I guess, an early version of the front counter camera, early version of the showroom camera. What kind of face is that on the top right? The hell? Test office, back when this game was going to be more like Revived. So I guess at one point this game was still going to be very much parodying off Revived, I guess. Originally there's going to be scrolling and 2 doors. All of the game's frames, a total of 13 frames. The main gameplay frame, it has around 8 layers. I have, again, some of this just goes over my head. A game over frame, I guess, you know, the game over screen. Beta, new and old Poe. And then the full Celebrate poster, which you were able to honk. And that pretty much covers everything from the bonus menu stuff. Now, again, I guess, like, I mean, I kind of already said, like, the main gist of my thoughts when it came to, like, you know, compared to the first game. Obviously, I think I prefer this more, just because also it's not so familiar to Rebooted, right? It's not like copy and paste, right? It's, you know, a bit more different in that sense, and, you know, takes the mechanics and kind of twists it a bit more, like, you know, makes it their own a little bit. Basically, it's not like I'm playing the same game but with different characters. I guess that's like the main gist of what I'm trying to say. Now, I already know from the first game that these games aren't made to be overly difficult, or, well, difficult in general, right? As you've seen me do here, pretty much from a gameplay standpoint, you don't really have to interact with cameras a lot, and for the most part, you can manage everything with relative ease as long as you're looking at the door, right? You know when they show up at the stage call window because they literally give you the sound, the sound cue for it, like the dong, right? And as for cameras, as long as you're checking somewhat frequently to make sure Abe's got their music, or Abel's got their music going, you don't really have to worry about the cameras, unless you hear Oliver make that alarm sound, in which case you just check the cameras and that's it, Jesus. And, you know, in terms of balancing, I like that they have some kind of balancing going on where it's like, okay, door characters, obviously, you have 20 seconds to deal with them, so, you know, they'll be there at the door for a while. You don't have to be super quick with them. Especially considering, you know, sometimes what if they show up at the door and then you have Oliver doing that alarm sound, you have to prioritize one over the other. And they kind of like provide enough time for you to balance your interactions with all the characters, right? Where it's like, okay, someone's at the door, but Oliver showed up, so let me go deal with Oliver, or maybe someone's stage call, do a stage call. So you don't really see, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's no real incident of like double trouble, right? Which is something that I'm generally never a fan of. Whenever there's like 2 conflicting mechanics that make it almost impossible to get through. Never a fan of those kinds of things. It tends to be unintentional, obviously, whenever that happens in a game, but point being, I like that there's balancing to kind of like prevent that here. And as for the story, there's not really much to say, given that, you know, we pretty much just had phone calls and that's it. Obviously, we know second location after the first location shut down. But obviously, it didn't even last a week. And then, of course, we know the old animatronics from the first game ended up escaping the establishment here. So I guess we'll see where they end up in the third game, because from what I understand, there is a third game in development, so I'll be keeping an eye out for that. But of course, with all that said, I hope you did enjoy. If you did, leave a like, comment, let me know what you enjoyed from the video, and what you want to see from me. Great job once again to the developer Ovidio. Curious to see how your third game goes. Also, if you haven't seen my latest story breakdown on A Shadow Over Freddy's, that'll be in the description below, as well as a playlist of all my other story breakdowns that I've done before. And with that said, I'll see you in another video. Take care.